Right, the Gills fans, welcome back to the 1893 show and welcome back to the home of football, Priestfield Stadium. As Gillingham welcome fellow promotion hopefuls at Notts County to ME7 today, following on from a disappointing result last week in the league and a disappointing midweek against Maidstone and Kensington Cup, albeit with the B team last week. Gills travelled to Warsaw and lost 4-1 on the day. Isaac Hutchinson getting a hat-trick and Freddie Draper getting the other goal. If you haven't seen that vlog, be sure to go and check it out. The link will be down in the description below. But on to today's game, it is set to be an absolutely cracking atmosphere here today at Priestfield, with lots of Notts fans expected to be making a trip down, as this is their 5,000th Football League game, and they are on free travel for their fans. I hope they've all got down safe. I know there's been torrential flooding in the north of England and the Midlands, so I'm really hoping they all got down safe and everyone here safe, ready to enjoy a fantastic game of football. But hopefully they're not going home with all 3 points. I would go over what I want to see the lineup to be, but the lineup is already out. I'm here really late today, unfortunately, because there was loads of traffic in, you guessed it, Maidstone. And then, of course, we are going to be missing Shadrach Ogie today through suspension, but Scott Malone is back. So the team is as follows. It is Turner in goal, Matt Clark, Max Amer, Masterson, Malone, Jeffries, Coleman, Jaden Clark, Johnny Williams, Connor Mahoney, and Macaulay Bond. The bench made up of Morris, Gale, Augie, Williams, Lapsley, MacArthur and Nichols. I can only imagine that Che has picked up an injury or is still recovering from his international break, as he is available for selection today but not in the squad. And obviously Robbie, we know, has been struggling with a knee injury of late, and Sean Williams obviously dropping to the bench. Again, I think that's a niggling knee injury as well. Should be a good game today. I'm going to get into the ground, I'm going to get into my seat and get ready for the first half. But I'm hoping the Gills can bounce back today. Obviously, no manager in place yet at all. It's said that Brad will be interviewing candidates for the role next week in person. I don't know if he's here today. I'd imagine he will be if he's interviewing people next week. All I will say is that if the club had planned the decision to sack Neil Harris, would you think that they would have had a replacement in quicker, which is what it's making me think that we didn't have. This wasn't planned, and this was not a knee-jerk reaction, but a hand that was forced upon the club. But let's hope they made the right decision. I know fans are getting ever frustrated that we haven't got a new manager in, and if we lose today and then lose in midweek against Swindon, the pressure could be really on the club. But let's hope for a positive result today against Notts County and back to winning ways and getting firming ourselves back up that league table. If we lose today, we could drop out the promotion, the playoff places. If we lose on Tuesday, we'll be right down there. But I'm going to get into the ground, and as always, up the Gills. Gills fans, that's half time. Lights have decided they don't want to work, so we're back struggling. Yeah, again, I don't know why they decided they don't want to work. Unfortunately, they have. And it is 1-0 at half time to not start in. Fantastic goal from them. The ball's comes up the right, whipped in, and it's that man, the 40 minutes placed down, puts it in the, well, it's in the bottom corner. It's got on the end of it, and Turner's got something on it, but not enough, and it's gone into the bottom corner. Overall, a very lacklustre game, I think is the way I'd probably describe it. At the moment, Notts have definitely looked a much better side. They always seem to have the spare man. They play a fantastic round of football, keeping the ball really well. They must have had maybe like 85% possession. We have created a couple of chances. Looked well by them. Looked okay on the counter, but I think sometimes our decision making, we've looked a bit scared and we've not quite good enough going forward. I don't want to say it's been a poor performance. I don't think we've played or not displayed fantastically well, and we've not looked 100% fantastic. Now again, we don't look poor, but we don't look good enough to be this Notts County side. There only looks to be one team on the pitch that should be competing at the top line of the table, and that's Notts County. And I have no doubt that if you put this Notts County team into League One as it is now, they'll probably put a very good account of themselves against the big boys in there. They're playing fantastic football. Dave McGoldrick is unbelievable in the football. He's got this aura about him where the ball just sort of seems to stick to his foot. Same with Jordan Jones. That's far. We haven't poor performance overall, but some players individually have had some poor performances. One of them being Matt Clark. He's in a right back, so he's not his natural position. So we have to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. He's simply not good enough. Jordan Jones every time wants to go on that left foot. He's cutting it back onto that left. Didn't give crosses in galore, and ultimately they have scored from crosses from the other side, but they could have had 3 or 4 from Jordan Jones, either going in from him or someone just getting on the end of it and nicked it off again. Apart from that, Turner's done okay. It's a fantastic shot from the goal. Should be in the highlights. It's wobbling, it's moving. It's a tough one to say, but we do look not at the races today, and obviously struggling with some personnel changes, but that's no excuse. Every side that's hoping to be near the top of the table, we should be doing a better account of ourselves in this game. And hopefully the second half we can get this game. Notts County are there for the taking on the counter. I'll be honest, they are there for the taking. If you look at the way they're set up, and you look at the way they're set up and the way they're playing, Notts County 100% here for the taking for Gills today, if we can get it right, and if we can just make those counter-attacks click a little bit better. Conor Mahoney's decision making in the final third hasn't quite been good enough. He's not looked 100% at the races today, and hopefully he can he can look a little bit better. So like Jaden Clark is fantastic. Cody Bond has looked at it, just not quite got his goal. He's been doing his thing. I think Johnny Williams does well since then. Let's hope we can get clicking in the second half. Hopefully we can come out with 3 points or a good point. As always, the Gills. Sort of like the team for me. Do it quick! Oh my fucking god! Right then, Gills fans, that's game done. It did finish up 2-1 to Notts County. We got back into the game for a brilliance from Scott Malone. Touches the ball down, beats 3 or 4 players with a lovely bit of footwork and starts at home, calm, cool, composed. Fantastic moment for him. Fantastic finish. But overall, simply put, we wasn't good enough today and we didn't deserve to win. Look, their second goal is a moment of pure class from the lad. It's come to an edge of the box and he couldn't have put this more in the top corner. There's some strikes where you know it's going to happen before he even strikes it, and that was one of them. The ball's rolling to him, and it was that moment every footballer dreams of on the edge of the box. The ball's rolling perfectly. You're kind of on a pose as a man running, and you catch it perfectly. It's on straight in the top corner, and fair play to the lad. Fantastic finish, but ultimately we didn't do enough to win the game. There was a chance at the end with Jaden Clark. Unlucky, good save from Sam Salacom. And ultimately, Notts did enough to get the win. They played the game well. They played the whistle well. They played the time well. And the only thing I will say that did kind of irk me off, and I'm not here to sit and blame the ref for our loss. Ultimately, we lost the game because we wasn't good enough and we conceded 2 goals. But I didn't know the rules changed that you could commit a foul off the ball, nowhere near the ball, the ball's in a different phase of play, commit a foul on the player, a foul that I didn't actually see, but I'm pretty sure it's put ball on the floor, he's given a free kick. Therefore, you're not playing the ball, you're fully playing a man, you're endangering your opponent, so therefore surely a red card? No, he's given a booking. Matt Clark takes a free kick and it goes wide. And apart from that, there wasn't much else to report. There were a few half chances here and there, a few where the fans got off their seats, a penalty shout in there, but ultimately it wasn't to be today. We move on to Swindon in the week, and the one thing I will say is we need a manager quick. We need a manager to come in and sort these lads out, because ultimately at the moment the performances are far from good enough. It's clear to see that it's not good enough, and I know there is. I've not seen this, but I've heard that there's a podcast come out that Neil Harris has gone on and unfortunately unveiled a few things that I know fans won't be happy about. A few things about a certain Mr. Scally. Look, I'm not here to speculate, but from what he's saying is that Scally has a bit more involvement than we think he does in the football club, and ultimately that's the reason he lost his job. So I'm not here to speculate, but ultimately that's one of the main talking points from that Neil Harris podcast, if you will, one that I've not watched, but I will watch ahead of the Swindon game, in a sense that Paul Scully has a bit more say in the club than we think he does, and ultimately from what I'm hearing, that's the reason that Neil Harris was sacked, or that he said as such. I will confirm that once I've watched it, but that's obviously a worrying part. And then it raises the question, if Scally is calling the shots on the footballing side, then why are we taking so long to hire a manager? I know Brad obviously has said that he's flying in to interview the players, the managers that potentially will take the job this week coming, but politely, we sacked our manager 2 weeks ago. So what's been the hold up in making this happen? You look at MK Dons, for example, got rid of Graham Alexander, had hired someone within 2 days. Ultimately, at the time of sacking Neil Harris, you were going to candidates and saying, look, we've got a team that's sat in third, a team that's sat in third maybe just needs a slight change in direction. Now you're saying you've got a team that's sat in mid-table. I'm pretty sure we're 10th after that loss today against Notts County. So you're going with a team that's sat in mid-table. Yes, with a good squad, but they're sat in mid-table. And when a new manager comes in, they're effectively picking up a side off the floor. So they're not. They're effectively picking up a side off the floor. They're picking up a side that's lacking confidence, 10th in the league, on a bad run, and having to turn that round and pick that dressing room up. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and if we go and lose against Swindon and slide further down that table, then there will be a lot of pressure on the football club, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not going to sit here and not address the fact that there will be a loss of pressure on this football club should we go and lose to Swindon. I think there's a lot more pressure on the club now. I think the Gallantons earned this little bit of, okay, we believe in them, we're trusting their decisions because of what they've done previously. But now I feel that's coming to an end, and for me, it's come to an end. I want answers. I want to know why we haven't got a manager in place yet, why we've allowed it to go on for so long, and what exactly is happening. Because ultimately, we've sacked a manager that had us competing in the promotion places. Yes, maybe not playing the most attractive football, but we were winning football matches. I know towards the end of that we wasn't winning football matches, but we were up there in the places that we wanted to be. So ultimately, is he not doing his job? He's 100% doing his job. So why have we got rid of him? You know, there's so many questions that need to be answered and addressed by the football club. And if more things that I've not watched it, but if more things come out that Scally's more involved in the football side than we think he is, and that he is the reason that Neil Harris is ultimately not here anymore, then more questions are going to be asked, because ultimately you're putting your trust in the wrong people. I ultimately, there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, and ultimately as fans we don't always get the answers to these questions, but they're questions that are going to be asked. 110% these questions are going to start being asked by a group of fans, if not all the fans, because if you look at it from an outside looking in, a lot of clubs have questioned us in the decision to sack Neil Harris, and they're right in saying it. We said, okay, we trust in our owners, there must be more to it, there's a reason for this decision. But ultimately, if you're going to sack a manager that's doing well, right, Harris out, Harris in, he was doing well. We were third, we were up there in the promotion places. I'm pretty sure when he went, we were third in the league, or it may have been when we won our game, we went third in the league. I can't think back that far on the spot, but ultimately we were up there competing in the promotion places. You sacked a manager and then you've not brought anyone in for 2 weeks. And yes, okay, right, you put an interim in charge, but we're now losing football matches. And not just losing football matches. Yesterday, it wasn't a spanking, but we went away to Walsall, who were 18th in the league, and got beaten, I believe it was 4 or 5-0, by Sutton, who were down in the relegation zone, in a relegation dogfight at the moment, right? Who got beaten by them 4 or 5-0. We went and lost 4-1 to them last weekend. We've now come here against the promotion rival and lost 2-1, and not really looked like we were ever going to win that game. Second half, yeah, I walked off and I felt a bit deflated that we didn't take a point from that game. But if we'd have won that, I'd 100% be sat here saying we didn't deserve to win that game. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. We didn't deserve to win that game, and we've lost it. Did we do enough in the second half to get a point? 100%. But in the first half, we treated them like they were royalty, like we were playing against Southampton again from the Carabao Cup. Actually, no, we didn't, because we played without fear against Southampton. We were scared of Notts County in that first half, and that's worrying to say as a fan. And ultimately, that doesn't come from the players, because the players should all be confident in their ability. That comes from the backroom around them, hyping up, getting them ready for the game, getting them up for the game, making sure that they go out there, they know they've got a clear plan, and they're up for this game. I have so many questions around what exactly is going on in this dressing room. And if we don't hire a manager after that Swindon game, and we leave this to go on even longer, we're going to be in a really bad position, having to make up a lot of points to get to our ultimate goal, which the club set at the start of the season, which was automatic promotion. I've had numerous conversations with people that I obviously won't name, and said, I'd be happy with playoffs this season. They go, no, the ultimate aim of the club needs to be promotion. But if it needs to be promotion, let's get our arse in gear, get a manager through the door, and actually start pushing for this promotion. Actually start giving the fans something to cheer about. Actually start showing us this football club that we've been promised, in showing these things that we've been promised, showing, you know, that passion, that desire, that want to get promoted. The fans have this expectation that we should get promoted this season, because the club set that expectation. That wasn't the fans getting carried away. The fans, yes, we got carried away at first, but the club fully backed that we wanted to get promoted this season. Yes, there's still a long way to go. There is still a long way to go. But the longer we leave this without a manager, the longer we leave this decision lying in the air, and this group of players under an interim manager who ultimately has ruled himself out of the running for the job. If he was going for the job, I'd understand him maybe getting a little more few weeks. He ruled himself out before he even managed a game. This is becoming an absolute joke from the club. How this is being handled is becoming an absolute joke from the club. I'll be honest, if you're going to sack a manager like Neil Harris, who is doing well, then you must have a backup in mind. You must have a backup ready to go, if not in mind, and have him in within the week, not 2 weeks knocking on. Ultimately we played a lot of games since Neil Harris went, and we're not looking very, very good. It is been I don't like the way this has been handled from the football club, I'll be honest, and I'll say that to anyone. I'm not going to sit here and hide those feelings, and I'm sure fans have the same feelings as me. I'm not happy with the way the football club have handled this. Do I love my club? Will I support my club week in, week out? Will I still be going to Swindon? 100%, because I love my football club, and that is why I'm so passionate about this, right? That's why you can hear the passion in my voice, and I'm hoping it comes across that I'm not bad-mouthing my club. I'm saying I'm not happy with the way that something's being handled. I'm not here going for Brad's throat, going for Shannon's throat, going for Scally's throat, going for Hess and Kenny's throat. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is the way this has been handled by the footballing side of this club hasn't been good enough, and the fact that we've not got a manager in as of yet is worrying, and we need a manager in ideally before the Swindon game, because then maybe we could get a little bit of a new manager bounce as we go away to Swindon, which is a massive game, not just because of who it is, but also in league sense, form we're on. It's a huge game, it's a must-win game, but we need a new manager in next week without fail for me. I've heard a few names running about, and I guess the other worrying thing is you don't hear that it's definitely one person. I get that the club are being very close to their chest. There's not many rumours knocking about on who the next manager will be, but ultimately there is always leaks, in the media, etc. But there is no firm favourite. Yes, it was Brucey for a bit, but where's that? If it was going to be Steve Bruce, I'm sure it would be Steve Bruce by now, but it's not Steve Bruce. So who's it going to be? There's a couple of names being thrown about, but ultimately no one is a clear front runner, and that's worrying, because ultimately we're sitting here as fans, or I'm sitting here as a fan saying I want someone in before Swindon, but if there's no clear front runner and Swindon's 3 days away, where are we at? Look, I'm just extremely disappointed at the result, the run of results, and ultimately, as I say, the way this has been handled by the football club. I want to reiterate that I am not sat here saying that I don't like our owners, that I think our owners are not thinking in the best interest of the football club. What I'm saying is I think they've gone about this in the wrong way. Could that be down to naivety? Could that be down to a lack of experience within the footballing game? I don't know. I'm not going to speak to what happened between the board, the owners, and Neil, ultimately for him to have departed. As I say, from what I'm hearing from this podcast, there was more to it than just the performances or the pressure from the fans, etc. There was more to it. I can't speak to what that was because I don't know what that was. I'm not the only people that ultimately know what's happened there is Neil and the footballing side of this football club. But I'm beyond words on how to describe how I'm ultimately feeling as a Gills fan at the moment, and this is probably the first time under the Gallinsons that these feelings have been felt by many Gills fans. Those feelings of uncertainty, not knowing the direction of our football club, not knowing ultimately what's going on, I don't want to say not believing our football club, but having those doubts in the team and the performances that we're putting in, and that's the real worrying part for me, is that this is the first time that we've probably had those feelings come. Yeah, these are probably the first time that we've had these feelings arise since the Gallinsons have been in, and this is a vital week in the football club. This is a massive week for the football club. Look, I've been rambling for 15 minutes, and a lot of it wasn't about the game as a whole. Look, Scott Malone, fantastic goal. Hopefully, he did have to come off injured with a back injury. Hopefully, that's nothing too serious, and he's okay in time. I think Tuesday may be too soon, but okay in time for the weekend. ultimately we've lost today to an absolutely fantastic goal, and you know, a better quality side. And if you look at the players that they've got in their side, they are absolute quality. Dave McGoldrick is so far above League Two level, it's unbelievable. And any side he's in will have a chance of winning football games. And as I say, that they played the game better than us. As frustrating as that is as an opposing fan, if you're a supporter of Notts County, you're very, one, proud of that performance, and two, happy that your players have been able to play the game and ultimately play the referee. Look, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to head home, and I will see you all at the Swindon game. I think Beth may possibly be back for the Swindon game. Don't quote me on that. I think she was planning on going. So if she is there, then she'll be back for you guys to see. I know we miss her, and ultimately I will see you at the Swindon game regardless, because that's what we do. We love our club, we follow our club everywhere, win, lose or draw, through hard times, good times. That's ultimately what being a football fan is. Ultimately, guys, I will see you at Swindon, because that's what we do as football fans. We go and watch our club win, lose or draw, and we back the boys regardless of the performances they're ultimately putting in. So look, I'm going to leave that there, head home. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and for us to comment and to support so far on the channel has been absolutely fantastic, and I really appreciate it. And I hope and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm gonna go because I'm rambling now, and I don't really know what else to say. This is a terrible outro. Up the Gills. Wait, gotta do it right, as we always do on this channel. Win, lose or draw, up the Gills.